All right, sixth grade, welcome back. We've got some more. This is session 1. We're going to do about, we'll do as many of these as we can. And these are good problems because they're a great review, good to think about, and we'll solve them several different ways. Remember, you can stop the video, move it forward, backward, you can pause it, you can take notes. But really, this is a good way to review everything really for the year because we're going to hit all kinds of problems here. Okay, so this one is a zoo has 15 toucans and 60 parrots. And then the question is, what is the ratio? Oh, let me let the dog out. I gotta let the dog out. But I just thought I'd show you Sasha, the amazing math dog. So there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, she's an amazing math dog. She is gonna go ahead and send you a message right here. Sasha says, she says hi. Look at that. She can even write, okay, even while she's yawning. Okay? So Sasha, say goodbye. Watch her. She's gonna lift up a paw. She'll say goodbye. 2 paws. See you later. Okay. Goodbye, Sasha. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna have Sasha, the amazing math dog. She actually solved this, but I'm gonna go ahead and help you. She'll come back and solve another one later, using her amazing powers. Here's a toucan, 15 toucan, 60 parrots. What is the ratio? Okay, so we're gonna underline this. What's the ratio of the number of toucans to the number of parrots? Just a straight ratio, but all you want to do is make sure that you get the same order. Okay, so in a ratio, the order matters. Toucans to parrots. Okay, so what I do is I just write it down. I write toucans to parrots like this, and then I say toucans 15. It just helps me to keep it all straight. Parrots 60. Okay, and so then the concept here is ratios, just like fractions. Most of the time, you want to deal with the simplest form of that ratio, called the value of the ratio. But just think of it as, just treat it like a fraction. So what you want is you want an equivalent, just like you can have an equivalent fraction, you're also going to make an equivalent ratio. Just like you simplify fractions, you can just simplify. That's all you're doing. You can treat it like a fraction, but remember, it's different. It's talking about the relationship between two things. So in this case, they're saying, okay, the ratio of toucans to parrots is this. They could just as easily have said, what's the ratio of parrots to toucans, and done this. Okay, and in this case, we wouldn't. You're going to treat it separately then, or differently than you would just a fraction, because it is a relationship between those two things. Okay, it's not about whole and parts. That's what a fraction is. All right, so let's take a look at this problem. This one. So we've got, I'm going to write it down here a little bigger. So we've got 15, 60, toucans to parrots. So let's simplify it. Okay, let's simplify it. Well, what are you going to divide by? Think of your divisibility rules. These numbers end in 5 and 0. So one thing you could do really quickly is say, okay, you got to know those divisibility rules. That was 5th grade. And you know that anything that ends in 0 or 5 is going to be divisible by 5. Okay, so 15 divided by 5 is 3. 60 divided by 5 is 12. And then you can simplify this even further, 3/12. You're going to look over here. You've got to get it, it down to these terms over here. And this should jump out at you. Okay, what can I divide by? Well, the factors of 3, I can divide by 3 only, really. Gives me 1 to 4, okay? 1 to 4, but keep it in the same order, and there's our answer. So I kind of want to show you what that means. Okay, why does it 1 to 4, how does that work? So I'm gonna pause this real fast, and then I'm gonna actually sketch out 15 toucans to 60 parrots real fast and show you what that looks like. Okay, so it helps to visualize this. They're saying 15 toucans and they have 60 parrots. What's the ratio? Well, and we found out the ratio was 1 to 4. So what that means is for every 1 toucan, that's why I put this T here, for every 1 toucan, there are 4 parrots, 4 P's right there. For every 1 toucan, there are 4 parrots. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 toucans and 15 toucans, and I have a total of, if I count all my parrots, I have, for every one toucan, there are 4 parrots. So that means I have 15, and I could think of it as 15 copies of 4. 15 copies of 4. And I just want to show you what that looks like. I'll just come down here and do, I guess I'll do it right here. 15 times 4. See if this makes sense to you here. There's my 60 parrots. So that's what it means. I've got 15 toucans and 60 parrots. But if for some reason the zoo wanted to spread them out so that there was a ratio, they wanted 1 toucan, how many parrots would they have to put with that 1 toucan in their zoo? They could use a ratio and say, well, I'm going to have to use a ratio of 1 to 4. Okay, hopefully that helps a little bit. All right, let's take a look at the next one here. We'll pause and do the next one. Okay, let's look at this next problem. As you do these kind of problems, you'll start to see patterns in them. So you just got to practice them and sort of learn how to think, how to think mathematically. And it can be done. It can be done, okay? But you want to think through. You don't want to just grab numbers and start doing stuff with them. You want to think through stuff. Because doing well on these tests or other tests, they can help you, because there's always going to be some kind of a test for a job. And the higher you can place on these things, then the more it helps you. Okay. A restaurant used 231 eggs last week. Okay, so we got to know 231 eggs last week. Of these, so of the 231, which means a part, okay, there's a part. So part of those, whoops, let's see if it'll get in there. Part of these were brown. The remaining, the rest, were white. Which equation can be used to solve for W, the number of white eggs? So you're looking for the number of white eggs. So what I really suggest to the students is that they take problems like this and just real quickly, they take this information, because it's very confusing, and you just put it in a bullet format. So first of all, you have 231 used. And you can put whatever your label is here. It's just for you, just to organize the information. 46 brown. You could even just put B. The rest were white. So there's what we're looking for. And they're always going to have this very similar pattern here. Always going to have, at least 2 things given to you and 1 unknown. Very common, 1 unknown. And they're asking for an equation. So I'm just going to put EQ, and they want to use W for white. Okay, so you want to go back to big math ideas. Always think about big ideas, okay? Big ideas in math are, one of the things, a big idea is parts and wholes. And that you've been learning since 2nd grade, really, maybe 1st, just with those tape diagrams. So what's the whole here? What's the total? What's the whole? And you can look up here and say, well, here's what we know. They've got 231. That's the total. So that's going to be on one side of the equal sign, okay? And then what are the parts? We've got brown eggs and white eggs. So you literally could even just write it down like this. You can just go, well, I got brown plus white. Together, those things have to equal 231. Just think it through like that. And then look, you can plug things in. Plug in means I can say, well, and for brown, I know I have 46 brown. And for white, I'll use W, plus I have some white. That equals 231. Now, if you actually wanted to solve for W and use algebra, okay, that's a different, you could actually get this variable all by itself. And I'm not sure if you got to that point yet with the inverse operation. You might have just started that unit. But let's just take a look over here. Look, it doesn't match this. Looks like it definitely matches that. We're not matched up here. We're not matched up there. So this is our answer. Okay. That's our actual answer. What you're going to learn, which you don't need for this one, is that in algebra, you use what's called the inverse operation. But go ahead and just listen through to this. This is what's you'll have to use this next year and the year after at least, and for a while. Inverse operation, simply, you just whatever you do to one side of an equation, you do to the other. Okay, and if we want to move get a variable. In algebra, we just want to show getting this w all alone. So w, one of the things you could do is say, this is what the algebra part would look like. And again, there's lots of ways to do it, but this is, you would say, well, I'm going to do the inverse, which means opposite. So I have 46 over here. I'm going to take 46 away from this side, and I'm going to take 46 away from this side. Okay? And 46 minus 46 just equals 0. 0 plus, and then what's going to happen is I'll just be left with the white egg. So I'll subtract here. Again, you don't have to do that for this problem. I'm just giving you a preview. Cool algebra stuff here. Okay. So after I subtract it, I know that I had my W, I had 185 white eggs. All right. So just giving you a preview. Let's look at the next one. Okay, this says which expression is equivalent to its expression. So that means it's not an equation. So there's no what? An expression has no, if you look down here, how's that different from an equation? You'll see there's no equal sign, no equal sign. So you have this 9, and then on the outside you have 9m plus 3t. Then you start to say, that's starting to look terrible, right? Letters, numbers, looks complicated. All math is just a code. It's just a code. Sometimes it's like a secret code, okay, because it's kind of hard to figure out, right? But it's a code. So, and the reason people put a code together, one of them is so no one will know what you're saying, which in math that's not the thing. But also, it shortens the amount of letters and the amount of information that you need to send a message, because a code is real short, right to the point. So this code, you've got this 9 right next to this. And the code means you're multiplying. You don't need to have that extra symbol. So a lot of math is not having something that is not necessary. So you can just put the 9 next to the parentheses, and that means 9 times. Just like inside there, you see 9m. That's the same as 9 times m. Okay? But with that math code, you just put it right next to it and you save time. Save time. By the way, that's what math was invented, to save time. Unfortunately, practicing math takes time. But if you take the time, you can save the time. So what this means is 9 times everything that's in here. So that means I want 9 copies of this, and I got to make 9 copies of that. That's all it means. So let's do it. Let's do it. 9 copies of 9m plus, because I got to multiply it by everything in here, 9 copies, and that's what multiplication means, literally just making copies, 9 copies of 3t. Okay? That's all that means. So this means 9 copies of 9m. In other words, it means 9m, 9 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I add all that up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I add all that up, that's a lot of adding. I could just do 9 times 9, which is 81. So it's 81 times m. So this is just 81. 9 times 9, 81m. And then 9 times 3, 27t. That's all we're doing. Look over here. See, look at that. They're trying to trick you with all these things. Say, no way, not falling for it. Look, they're trying to trick us here. This person just multiplied the first 2, right? Okay, no. Looking good right there, right there. Okay, let's move on. Okay, actually, that is done with session 1. Done with session 1. So D-O-N-E, done. Smiley face. Good job, okay? And again, I'm trying to get, I can get the videos out a lot quicker now because I had to do a lot of work beforehand that I didn't realize was unnecessary, but now we can get these out. So so please take some time and just think through all these different problems. Try to put on a positive attitude. There's more than one way to solve them. Don't look at math as something about like that's torture or something like that, because all that math thinking that you're doing, whether you get the correct answer, but just the math thinking is building strength. It's building a problem-solving ability in your mind. And not all math is paper pencil. Math is solving problems. It's about solving problems at home, trying to figure out, how to maybe where to put your furniture, where to lay things, how to organize your room. That's a math problem, okay? It's spatial reasoning, it's math. It's about when you get a job, it's about figuring out what do I do with my money? How long will it take me to save for that go-kart, that mini bike, or that horse? So it's problem solving, and everything that we do here, okay, is exercising that problem solving muscle. All right. So be encouraged, keep it up, work hard. We got an opportunity to go through a lot of material here if you're able to get online. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.